This is Farah of In Conversation, the podcast of Banyan Books and Sound, and I'm delighted to be here with Deva, Premal, and Miten, who have been spreading the sacred music of chant and mantra worldwide to millions. They, in particular, have brought the practice of mantra to so many people as a practice to bring inner peace and harmony, healing, and connection with the divine. I'm so excited and delighted to be here. I've been to so many of your concerts and have listened to your music and have benefited personally from the music that you do. And I'm excited to talk about your tour on the Wings of Mantra.
Thank you. Thank you. We're happy to be here talking to you. We're in Canada right now.
Just around the corner from you.
Just around the corner.
Is there anything about this tour that's different from your previous tours?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that I'm alive. I think that's the whole the main difference, because well, you know, I had the heart operation, and so we're back to full health, and it's a new beginning for me personally. I think for both of us. So it's very special. It's a very special time.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, each tour we finish, we always feel like, wow, this was the best we've ever done. Like it just keeps unfolding and morphing and surprising us, which is great after 28 years of touring. That we can still be in a state of adventure and inspiration and surprising each other, like what all of us will do, what spontaneous creativity comes, and we have a beautiful band that we also played and traveled with the last 2 or 3 years now, and we're becoming really an organism. We know each other well now, and we are really very comfortable and cozy with each other, and respect each other and challenge each other. So it's the perfect support for the mantras, because as you know, with the mantras we actually don't need any musical accompaniment. We that's not what this is about. It's not about entertainment, or like it's not about an emotion. It's about deepening the space of meditation and silence, and the musicians that we travel with, they're high-end, high-quality musicians who don't necessarily come from the world of yoga and meditation, but they're totally tuned in and feel so honored and grateful that they can be in this environment and play with all of us and for all of us.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a little more about, the new beginning and what feels new about your life, and what the surgery really, what insights came from that, and that are coming into this fresh perspective.
Well, just about everything, it was second chance kind of feeling, and without realizing what I was doing, I was actually consciously rebirthing myself into this body that's in its 70s, So I'm very conscious that I'm in the body in a different way than I was before, and meaning that it's obvious that this is a temple. That's it, and I'm an inhabitant. But this understanding, and it became, now it's an understanding, whereas before it was a concept, has changed my whole way of playing music. Not changed it, but it's made it even more precious. I think that's what's happened. I think life has become even more precious, and through that I have more energy. Suddenly I've got some blood in my veins and some breath again in my body, and we had an interesting time last year, because after the heart operation we had to on a tour, which we did without me on the stage. And so this was a whole new moment for Deva to be on the stage just with Minoz and the band and no Miten, you know? And so we experienced something that we would never otherwise have been confronted with and been able to see. So it was a beautiful, it was almost like a reboot, you know, it's like a moving from that to this new tour, which all the doors are open. We have the best band possible, and it's like David was saying, it's not about the music per se, but it's like having a really nice meal, you know, and with friends, and you can have a nice meal and not be with friends, or you can have a nice meal with friends, and that's what brings the quality, you know. And that's what's happening with us and the music, and you guys who come, you people, beloveds who come every night to sing with us and to be in the space with us and celebrate with us. And that's what I saw with the heart operation. It touched all of us. The ripples went way beyond just Deva and myself, you know. So I was just suddenly, it felt like it solidified the Sangha, and we're just so obviously a family, and we come together through this feeling and this understanding of chant, leading to a space of inner peace and meditation and joyful celebration. What else have we got left? The world has gone crazy, you know. So for me, you know, the thing that we tap into are the essentials. We don't have time to waste with anything else now. So it's all about essential. That's what's changed, I think.
I imagine that people chanted mantras for you while you were in the hospital and probably after. Could you feel that? Could you feel the support through mantra and through the people you've sung to and
Well,
sung with?
I'm living proof that prayers actually do do connect. You know, I'm living proof, and in fact, the doctors asked me, "How come you're getting healthy so fast?" And I told them, "You should look at my Facebook page. You would understand why, you know, because there's just so much love and pouring in for both of us, especially for Deva. Deva was holding the space, you know, and that's a whole other story. It's easy to be ill, but it's not so easy to be the one who's taking care all the time, you know. It was an amazing time for us."
You know, I would love to hear some stories, personal stories from your own lives, or even stories that you've heard from others about the power of mantra, the power of chanting, the power of singing together.
There's so many, and I so often after concerts people come and you know, talk to us, say hello after the concert, and then they say some things like, "Oh, the mantras have saved my life," or or your music has saved my life. And they are such big statements, you know, and I'm like, tell me more, what do you mean, you know? And often it's like the concert or a CD, or just hearing it in a massage played. And I know a friend, she was very depressed and basically had no life joy, life sparkle, and in a massage she heard the Gayatri mantra, and it just woke something up inside of her that put her on a path that now she's, you know, chanting it every day, chanting the Hanuman Chalisa every day. This is now 10 years later. But it's what I love is that it's again and again living proof that the mantras, first of all, they reach us when we need them. You know, they come into our lives when we are open to them, and it's they're such strong medicine that we don't need to even understand them for them to work. You know, they it's like taking the right medicine, and you don't have to be how do you say, you don't have to know about chemistry or anything for the
ingredients.
For the medicine to work. Personally, my life has been a very smooth unfolding, and like I haven't had a kind of a big, turn around where things were intense and then something happened, and it's just been kind of I feel like it's been a flower opening with the mantras, so I couldn't say, oh yeah, this is the moment where they changed my life, or where suddenly something new happened. For me, it's more like they've kind of watered the soil of my life ever since I was born, through my father, singing and chanting the mantras to me, and me singing, chanting mantras as a kid, and having led me to this point now where I live my life in a way that I've never dreamt of, in a very I feel so blessed that I can swim in this ocean of meditation and community, which I think is like, that's also what the mantras bring. They bring this sense of connection. Mm-hmm. And it's a connection between us, between us humans, realizing that there's other people chanting mantra, being in a concert where we chant together, being, doing, like we did an online Gayatri mantra meditation at the beginning of this year. We had 100,000 people join us for the japa of Gayatri mantra for 7 days. We had so many people dedicated and devoted. So that connection, and then of course the connection to the great divine spirit that's lived through chanting mantra. Like how do we express our devotion nowadays? For me, that's the best way, the most joyful way. Of course, we can sit in silence, which is totally beautiful meditation, but to express that heartful, joyful feeling in a devotional way, it's dancing and singing, and that's makes us feel connected, and then we're already basically home. Once we're connected, we can be sad, we can be dealing with stuff, but we know we are okay. So it's that connection which is vital and so nourishing.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear you speak more specifically about the Gayatri. You've started the Gayatri Festival in Greece. It's, you've done this online journey. Tell us a little specifically about its meaning for you personally, and a little bit about the inspiration behind the festival that you started in Greece.
Well, I can tell you a personal thing, and Deva can speak about the traditional chanting. But for me, what happened was that I had one moment after the heart operation when I realized that my body was traumatized, and so I had to do some intense kind of physical shaking and trembling to release the trauma. And there was one night in particular where it was so intense, the whole catharsis. I couldn't sleep. My body wouldn't let me sleep for days. And it just erupted. And it was like I was saying about the rebirth, but it just one night erupted. And I just allowed that, and just to cry and cry and cry and shout and scream. The whole thing came, And at the end of that whole episode, it was almost dawn by the time I'd kind of calmed down, and I asked David to put the Gayatri 7-chakra Gayatri on. We just recorded it, and it's just a personal experience of mine, But that music, when Deva began to sing, it just felt like there was a perfume in the room. And after all, such an intense night, we just cuddled up together and just bathed in the Gayatri and drifted off to sleep. And we woke up in the next day with the sun pouring through the window. And I realized that was the birth, that was the rebirth. And the Gayatri has given me that kind of energy, over and over, a rebirth. So, and I didn't know it until I met Deva. I had no idea. I didn't even know there was a power in mantras. I've been discovering it, through Deva or through Osho, because that's where I started chanting, just didn't know. And so it wasn't until David started to discover and rediscover these sacred chants that they came into my life, and actually as a healing property, not just as something that I sing, but something that actually healed me. And so although I love rock music and everything, but when it gets down to the nitty gritty like this is where we are now. You have to respond to what's real, and for me the Gayatri is something obviously real. And so yeah, and that's all I know.
Yeah, the Gayatri is for me, it's like goodness in sound, it's
light.
It's light, yeah, because it's light, it's invoking the divine light of consciousness. It's the translation that I resonate with, and I needed it to be quite simple. There's so many translations for the Gayatri mantra out there, in there, and I'm sure they all don't even come in close in any way to when you really understand Sanskrit, which I don't, so we need to find ways to come as close as possible with the English words to what the mantra really conveys. But so I needed to find a translation that is simple enough for me to really understand it, because then I can relate to it. So the one I resonate with is, we meditate upon this adorable, enchanting source of all things. So that's this universality, we all know that there is a source of all things. We don't have to name it in any way. It's the source, we don't have to say this is God, this is divine, this is the light. We don't have to say Hari, Krishna, whatever, we can just leave it at that. It's the source of all things, and that's already makes it very universal and beyond all concepts, because there must be a source, and that it's adorable and enchanting is also totally, like, we all feel that way, because this existence is just outrageous. I mean, when we look around, it's just in all ways magical. So that we all know we are tuned in when we meditate upon this enchanting existence. And then this divine light of pure consciousness is what gives us energy, it gives us inspiration, and it awakens us. So it's that awareness that we are vehicles for the light to come through, that there's nothing that happens without that light as the source. And the light is the light, there's no color to that light, it's not a red light or a blue light, or it's got no stripes or no polka dots or whatever. It's like it's a pure white light, which means it's not, oh yeah, this is Ganesh, so then I have to get used to a god that has a elephant head, or maybe I can't relate to it because I haven't grown up in India, or so. But the light we all can relate to, anyone from any country, any culture, any religion can relate to the light as a good force, as something that we aspire to being close to, or being in, being in the light. So there's just no concepts that we need to make around this mantra. We don't have to, oh yeah, Ganesh is about removing obstacles, and so but this is direct. I feel like there with the Gayatri we can just relax into it. We don't, as whoever we are. And that's what I feel carries us around the world, is this light, this divine light. And we obviously need a lot of reminding of that, because we're chanting it a lot. We need
it, yeah.
We need a lot of people chanting it to us, because that's what's happening in our lives. So we must have created that situation for ourselves, so we can bathe in this purification again and again. And that's the blessing for us.
I imagine that, touring is I know from my own experience that touring is challenging in some ways. Do you have a daily practice other than, before you go on stage, rehearsing and meditating, or something else that kind of, that helps you with the challenges of touring and traveling and being in different places? And
it's a really good question. I don't find it challenging, that's the thing. Like I'm really enjoying every moment of my life, and so that's my daily practice. I don't like when we are staying longer in a place like in Australia and Greece, then I have a daily practice more with yoga, Pilates, meditation. But when I'm on the road, actually often I don't find the time. And I feel like I'm in it, I feel like what I'm doing is my meditation, and I'm so nourished by it, and it's something that I love to do. So it's not like
you don't take vacation.
So
it's just it. So, but when you get older, you have to take care of your body. So more and more I'm more aware of it now, and especially like you were saying, when we stop, then I make sure I have regular body work, massage, or
that's your practice.
Acupuncture, all
you
that.
You can see what kind of practice.
All that, very important. But I like to exercise too. But I don't have a daily yoga practice, although I've kind of adopted a practice that I learned in the ashram in India, Osho's ashram. It was called Divine Healing, and it was a set of exercises based on kind of I think kind of Chinese Tai Chi kind of tradition, and I've been doing them ever since I first learned them. So I don't do them regularly anymore, but they're definitely part of my life. And I can just see stretching the body is very important. The legs and but the rest of it, like it's really not difficult. I know people get there. I know that it's difficult to travel, but when you do it all the time, the only downside is that we're on these planes and there's so much pollution. That's the worst part. Because we never adopted any other way of life. We just left India together. We just met. We've been together maybe a year or so, and this was 28, 29 years ago, and we just responded really to invitations around Osho, Rajneesh meditation centers. We went to Italy, Deva and I, and we lived for a while over there in Toscana, and we drove around into these little centers, and we would play and share voice workshops, and we just traveled, and we did it from there, and it just kept on going. And now we have a migration pattern, which is kind of nice. So we know roughly where we're going to be in what time of the year we're going to be there, and that's nice. And we have a great crew, great team, great manager, business manager, beautiful girl who just loves to chant and sing with us and take care of everything, and a great sound crew and great lights and great band. And suddenly well, not suddenly, but we've just watched it grow, and we've given everything we've got to it. We like David said, we don't have a vacation. This is it. So we just live in it, and everything circulates and percolates, and you know and so creativity continues, and without forcing anything, like this album we're working on now. I think it's our 22nd album.
22nd album?
I swear to God, we were counting them the other day. That's what I mean. It just doesn't stop, and so we just keep putting it out, and people adopt one. They're like our kids. We never wanted to raise a family, but the idea of our CDs being our kids is really nice. The way we're there, the way we conceive them with love, and we're in the studio and they're being born, and then we put them in their clothes that they look, and in the CD covers, and then they go out into the world and they bring their friends back, and then we meet people with that CD, and then we meet other people with this CD, and that's the family. That's our family, and it's amazing. It's so precious. In Osho, our guru, he was so big on community. His thing was to live communal. He felt that was the way for humanity to be able to survive and live in peace together, is somehow when we have more than one mother and father, we have many mothers and fathers, and many uncles and aunts, and many brothers and sisters. And so I feel that we are still living in the community somehow,
moving
because now we have the kids that I knew in the ashram when they were young, and now in their 30s, 40s, and bringing their kids to us, and so it is a feeling like a family, and it's very beautiful.
Yeah, you were asking about the Gayatri festival, so that's what that is. That's an expression of that community hanging out for a week together in Corfu, Greece, or in Costa Rica, which is the two places where we're doing it. And this year, for the first time, we'll also do it in Mill Valley in May for a weekend, so people can come more easily who can't make it all the way to Costa Rica or Corfu. And these weeks are just so precious because it's a holiday. It's especially when we do it in Corfu or in Costa Rica, it's a holiday with beach time and ocean, and all the ingredients of the perfect holiday has sunshine and all that. And then we meet in the mornings and evenings to sing and chant together, and we have that community of people coming from 30, 40 countries for that week to sing and chant and hang out. There's lots of hanging out space also. And there is the possibility for participants to share their own gifts with each other. So there's afternoon mini workshops where people can sign up. Whoever comes to the festival can say, I want to offer a workshop on dream analysis or face reading, or we've had all kinds of different amazing offerings, and it's grown so much. Like the ones in Corfu, Greece, we've been doing them for over 20 years, and in Costa Rica maybe almost 8 to 9 years. Many people returning, so there's a sense of also family, and yeah, it's just very, very beautiful way to spend a holiday, really on a deep level.
And there's no pressure anywhere, and we're not there to teach anything. We're not there to give a diploma. We're all there just to be together and chant and sing, and have a good time. And by that I mean a deep experience of gratitude and forgiveness and
compassion.
compassion for ourselves and each other, you know.
Mhm. It's been so wonderful to hear about your experiences and to share and hearing about also just the effect of the mantras and stuff. Do you have any deep wishes about this particular tour, or any particular intention, or any, is there anything in particular you like about being in Canada?
Oh, we love Canada.
We're in Canada right now.
Yeah, we love Canada. The wish is that, first of all, that people who would like to come to the concerts know about it, that they have the choice to come, because I know it's such a precious experience to be there. And so
that's the worst thing, when we hear people say, "Oh, we didn't know you were here," So that's the saddest thing, because so our thing is make sure that everyone who wants to come knows that we're there and knows that it's happening. That's our main wish.
And that that everyone who comes, which includes us, finds a new, more light in their lives, more love in their lives in that evening, and finds a way to live that in life afterwards, and share that in life. And that's that I know that that's happening a lot, and it's a possibility that is happening. And so that's the wish, that we can bring something into this crazy world right now, that is an outbreath of inner peace. It's these words, they have been used so much now, but it's really so true, that I don't know any more nourishing, deep, relaxed, silent space than after I've chanted. When I've chanted, sung, and I close my eyes and I can still feel the vibration of the mantra in my body. My cells are still charged with the energy. And I've experienced that with a whole bunch of people who all have gone through the same journey. And we all sit there in silence and have no need to move, no need to cough. And we can just enjoy. And that's the deepest meditation for me. And it's so precious to be able to share that with. And it's amazing that there are so many of us now who are able to share that, who are able to go into that deep space in one evening. It's not like we even need a week to get there, to drop in there. It happens in one evening, and it's so healing. It's extremely healing.
It's been so wonderful to be able to see you and speak with both of you, and I really look forward to being there, in particular when you come to Vancouver.
That was so nice.
Come see us, huh?
Yes, I most definitely will, and thank you so much.
Thank you, for beautiful. Nice to see you.